Hey guys, hope you're doing well and awesome. For today, we have one question from the group, and we are going to explain, share. I'm going to share you about a few of the points that the person has, so that you can use that for yourself if you have questions or similar questions. All right. So what it is about. So here's the questions that I will be sharing you in this content. The question is, I'm planning to start ready to cook business to sell pre-cut veggies and fruits and some other items. Kindly help me with the following. The questions is minimum investment needed. Number two, approvals and license. Number three, how to procure kitchen equipments. Four, how to get chef and other staff. Five, packaging. Six, how you guys channelize your grocery and vegetables stock for your kitchen. I mean, you guys buy yourself or there are vendors for that. And number seven is how to find place to rent for the kitchen, how to decide on pricing, procedures to connect to third-party delivery service and all. Right, so let's get into the interesting question here. So here's we have someone that who's planning to start their own virtual kitchen. So I'm going to be sharing you a quick information so that you can just quickly grab this idea, right? And most of these points are already explained to or I have shared with you already in the previous video, so you can always refer to virtual kitchen resource and understand more of how you can get more ideas from the past or the previous videos that I have created for the similar contents. But let's get into this question. So minimum investment needed. So it depends, right? Okay, if you are going to start your own and you don't have any other partners, then it's going to be expensive. But then it depends on how big is your location is going to be. So it also varies in which country you are from. So let's say if you're in Asia, probably the guidelines and the food inspections requirements by the state or the city would be different than compared to United States. So I'm gonna give you an example of based on my experience in the United States, right? So here at least what you require is to establish basic equipments for your kitchen to operate. If it's not something that you're going to operate using a gas or a stove or like anything related with fire, right, where you would need those chimneys and all those things. So it depends what kind of food are you trying to prepare in your kitchen. So if it's something related with frying or firing or cooking, like a wok system, like a Chinese food, probably the expense is going to be more. But if you are trying to start something like cookies or like a sandwiches, or a pre-made stuff that where you reheat, those going to be less. So assuming that excuse me, you want to start your business with the higher price point, which means you want to have your frying pan and all those, and you want to have any fryers that you can fry your chicken, so like fries and all those things. So those equipment is going to be expensive, and at the same time you will also need to have your walk-in cooler storage and a freezer as well, right? Excuse me. So you will need all those things. So to set it up, all those things, it might just be a little bit expensive. But if you are going to partner with someone else, or if you're going to join someone else's kitchens, then all those equipments are already available in their kitchen, so you can just borrow it or you can just share it, you can use it, right? In that case, the cost to operate, to start the business, is going to be very minimal. So that is the reason why many people are enrolling as virtual kitchens or a ghost kitchen. So because those equipments, those setup is already there. So let's say if you have the walk-in cooler, the freezer, and your prep tables and all this the three compartment sink and a hand wash sink, if it's already set up, then probably you can easily start with about 2 to 5,000. Again, it also depends. So if you want to start with the sandwich businesses, it's going to cost you about like a 3,000 to 5,000. So it's the least, right? And if you want to start with cookies, probably it's going to be lesser than that, right? So it depends on what kind of a food you are trying to operate. So if you're including a fire or something like a oil fry or like anything with the stove where you need to fire, then probably that's going to be costing you more to start. And the second thing is that if you are serving some sorts of a cold or like a pre-processed food, then the cost of your startup it's going to be very less. And if you are already occupied, if you're going to establish a new building and installing all those walk-in cooler and prep tables, it's gonna add up more on the price of your startup expenses. But if you are going to join someone else, who has a kitchen, then there is going to be less in the price. So it's going to be hard for me to tell you based on what kind of food that you're trying to start with, but you got an idea. So let's go to the second point, approval and license. So now again, this also depends on each city, county, or the country that we are living. So let's say in the United States, what you need to do is, for example, for a sandwich restaurants or for a takeout or a delivery restaurant, what you need is minimum prep table, and then also you need serve safe certification, and then you need inspection done so that you have the 3 compartment sink and hand wash sink, right? So all these little things that if you have it, you're all good to go, and you're gonna be easily be approved by the fire department as well as the DO, Department of Agriculture. So they are the one who usually come and do the inspection, right? And the cost is gonna be vary because in the United States it's not the fixed price for every state. So it depends which county you're from and also which state you're from, and all those things vary. But you got an idea where you can get it from. So if you're living in Florida, so you just have to register with the DBPR. It costs you about, like, for 1 year it's about $250 some change, which I'm not sure, but it is less than $300. You can also apply for 6 months as well. So once you apply for those applications and license, set your tax and then register your business all at the same time and get the EIN number, and it should cost you about like a $500 to $600 for you to get the license itself, right? So and once you have those license, you can just request for the food permit license from the DOA, and they will come and approve it to you if it fits in everything according to their guidelines. Now the third one is how to procure kitchen equipments. Now if you are going to establish your own from scratch, then I would say it depends. If you have a kind of a longer vision for your business, then probably go with a new, but it might cost you a lot. So before that, you might want to have your accounting properly so that you know how much can you afford, what equipments can you buy to start your restaurant for the first 6 or 1 year. So mostly I advise, like, if you're new to the food industry and you don't have much capital, then I would say please look for a used restaurant equipments. There is always a freezer, walk-in coolers, and the freezers, and then the coolers, the refrigerators are there, and then there's a lot of prep tables which is very, very cheap. It's all the same thing, you just have to sanitize it, right? So I've been in this industry for quite some time, so I would never ask someone who is new into the business and they just want to try. I wouldn't ask anyone to invest like a 50 to 60,000. But if you try to go low, there are a lot of suppliers who will be able to help you out on a very good new equipment. To set up everything, it's not going to cost you more than 2 to 3,000. So the number one is look for something which is used equipment that you can afford it. And if you are looking for a new one, then look for something like you can pay in an installment basis, like month-on-month basis, right? So there is a website There are some websites that provide installment basis as well. Let's say if you purchase for like the equipment is about like a 3,000, you probably have to pay $150 a month for like maybe 3 or 5 years. So something like that. It goes, but it's kind of easier for you to start and have all equipments with you when you are about to start your business, right? So number 4, how to get chef and other staff. So the best way to get a chef is to talk to the chef. And so where are those chefs, right? So it's hard to market and to advertise and all those things. And if you try to market for a chef, or say put on a job wanted list or need list, probably you may not get any call or any number. So the best way is to use your Facebook group, if you have any Facebook group that you joined where chef and all those people from the kitchen industry, food industry take part. If not, then I would say how I do is I just go to the restaurant, eat the food, and sometimes I just talk to the chef over there and just ask them if they have kind of second opinions to have a part-time job, or if they can refer me something, because one chef know another chef always. So for me, what I just do is, like I said, I just go to the restaurant, I meet the chef, and I just ask, I have this plan and program for my business. So would you be interested to join if you're planning to switch your job, or if you know anyone else, who can help me out on this? Would you mind to give me a contact, or will you be able to refer your friends who could help me on, to be a chef for my business? So the best way is to interact with the chef, because the chef will always know another chef. So that's how it works. And regarding the staff as well, so it's kind of a very easy. Just go to the restaurants and look for the staff working over there. There's a lot of people who work as a part-time. So you may just want to ask one friend, one staff, like if they have the friend or family members who would like to help me out on my restaurant, my business. Just like a chef, the one staff will know another staff who would be willing to work in your restaurant, because they need hours and probably they may not be getting hours from the main the main locations or the places where they work. So probably they can just add more hour into your location. So contact the chef for chef, contact the staff for staff, and just always ask for reference, so that you can build up your own kind of list of people, and just give them a time and deadline until when, how long you should wait for those. All right. So, and fifth one is packaging. Packaging is always up to you. There are some foam packaging stuff as well, and there is a paper packaging as well. So you want to consider something like which is biodegradable, right? Because that's what the future is driven towards. So I would suggest you to look for something that is kind of more affordable for you, and the packages are kind of more of a biodegradable, so that in case something down the line, if you have to waste a lot, then it's not something it's gonna be environmentally impact, So the packaging is up to your decision. There is nothing much I can talk about it, because depends on what kind of food that you do. So let's say in a fast food, burgers and fries and all, they use a paper pack, right? Then, and also if you go for like noodle bars or hot balls, hot rice balls and all, they use these plastic bowls, And then also if you go for something like hot dogs, or something related with subs, they probably use a kind of a thicker kind of a cardboard style thick paper. So it really depends on what food are you serving, and based on that, just make sure that you have a good price margin on those bulk purchase, because if you try to purchase in a low quantity, probably it's going to be expensive for you. So I would say just make sure that what you want to sell it, and based on what you want to sell it, you have a specific containers for all those. For appetizer or for entrees, you want to have a specific containers, so that you have all those containers in bulk. So when you purchase in bulk, it's going to be more, you will just be able to buy at a good price basically. and you don't necessarily have to work with any retailers on those. You can always get it online Amazon, or if you want to purchase it from Alibaba, they do have containers for about like $0.25 or less than that in bulk. So try to purchase in bulk, but remember, know what will you require. I have seen many business, they just buy containers for their packaging, and by like end of the year I saw that I have here lying down there a bunch of containers, about like 2,000 to 3,000 containers, left over somewhere in a dry storage. And at the end, when you calculate and estimate, it comes up to a lot of money that weren't being used. So remember it. There are things that you can control. There are things that you can control. The things that you can control are your inventory, and the thing that you cannot control are the sales or the demands, right? So just make sure that you guys have the well knowledge about your inventory, your product, your demand, your requirements, and that way you will be able to cut costs, a lot of losses in your business. All right, so let's go to the next one. How you guys channelize your groceries and vegetable stock for your kitchen. I mean, you guys buy yourself, or there are vendors for that. So if you are worried about or concerns about, or you have a different idea about how you're going to procure your inventory, I would suggest you to please have a look into my other videos as well, where I have shared you a quick contents about like how and what's the best way to get your inventory or your supplies in stock all the time, right? So again, all those depends on demand and the seasons and all those things. So the first thing is that I would always suggest to all the small business owners are that focus or look into, do your research, and try to get your inventory or your products, your supplies from initially from wholesalers, right? Because there is always a margin between the wholesalers and the retailers. So you want to cut off that retailer and the wholesaler margins and take that profit into your account so that you can make more money out of and better monetize of your inventory, right? So my suggestion is that two main things that I would suggest, because you are not into that big scale company yet. Approach the wholesaler. If you can, go with the distributor. And for a small scale, for like a produce and all, I would suggest you to please go to a flea market or a local market events, meet those local farm producers, right? The quality of your produce necessarily won't be same all the time. I've never seen that the qualities of each product is always 100%. So there will be a variance in between, like 2 to 5%. That is fine as long as the quality is fresh and good enough. So my suggestions would be talk to your local farmers and try to get those produce inventory every week or so. Do not try to overbuy it, because produce have a very less shelf life. It can last for about like 3 to 5 days, so it's gonna get spoiled and it's gonna get wasted. So it's better to have a fresh ingredients in your food. So for that reason, just buy for something that you would require for a week, and then for produce, all right? So for produce, buy every week. But for something like frozen stuff, I would say if you want to buy it, you can buy it in bulk. But always approach a wholesaler or a distributor. The manufacturers probably may not be able to provide you, because the cost of the goods and the delivery and the cargo, the freight, all those things going to include a lot. And probably if you're not buying in a kind of 1,000 pounds or like a 500 pounds in a month, probably you may not get a deal with them. So it's that, but those are for like something when you have about like a 10 to 15 locations, you can always do that. But when you're about to start as a first timer, or if you have a one location, just focus on wholesalers or a distributor. And also for the produce, speak to the local farmers. That's the best way you can crack the deals. For this kind of a business, you never want to get product supplies from the retailer, because the margin is too high. At the same time, you're not going to make any money out of it, right? So The next one, how to find place to rent for the kitchen. Now this is a very good question, which I'm going to include in one of my in my training course for virtual kitchen resource training. I have actually did a kind of a very deep studies about it, and I would also request you to do your own survey. So the best way to understand your kitchen location, because this is going to be not a dining, so it is going to be a takeout and a delivery. So remember this, right? You have to understand how far can I go to buy my food, or how far can I wait so somebody can bring my food. Maybe I would just want to wait for the maximum of like a 5 kilometer or like 5 miles, right? Because if you try to get a coverage between like a 10 kilometer or 10 miles or 8 miles, it's going to take too long, especially because you're going to be in a metro city and a heavy traffic is always there. So the transportation period is going to take so long time. On top of that, the delivery guy or the company, the third party app, they probably may charge the customer a lot for the delivery. So you want to cut costs, those things on behalf of the customer as well, and try to understand your demographic very, very well. So a few things that you have to understand, which I'm going to be explaining in details, but in this video I'm going to include a couple of points. Number one would be the income of that area. So how you want to calculate is that see within 1 miles what is the income of that particular community, and then also go with the next 3 miles, what is the income of that community. So if those community can purchase say at least twice in a week, that's a very good options for you to capture or be settled down in that location. But if you come across that the demographic shows that those particular community or the regions that you're trying to establish your business, if they have a low income, probably they may not purchase things from you every now and then. So what we are trying to do here is frequent sales, and so for that reason we need a heavy traffic flow basically. So if your area does not have a good income, which means then there's not going to be a good traffic, and if there is no traffic, which means there's no sales, and if there's no sales, then the business is going to go down, and you still always have to pay your overhead, which is going to be your rental costs and utility costs. So first thing is understand the demographic very well and understand the income of that demographic within first mile and within the third mile. Don't go 4 or 5 miles, but if you are kind of a very popular brand, probably people will come. But for a startup, I would say look for within 3 miles. So sometimes you want to consider this. There are things places basically that you want to get close to. A lot of people say it is better to get close to college and all, but the college or any educational places, the problem here is that they do have a very long period of holiday breaks. So at that point of time your business can impact a lot. So one of the things that I would suggest is go somewhere which is very nearby a hospital. So if you go nearby a hospital, probably because the hospital is never closed, so there is always a patient or family members every now and then. So if you can establish your business somewhere within 1 mile or 3 miles of the hospital, that's a very good place to look for. And this and so in case if you have a better demographic, that is always good as well. But in my point of view, for a startup, look for something where your audience are possibly active most of the time, which I mean to say is like that particular town or area is busy most of the time and there is a huge traffic flow going on, right? So the first thing you want to understand is the demographic. The second thing is understand the income and understand the location and the nearby traffic. And the third thing is you want to understand the age. So people of below like a 25-year-old, most of them, 70% people, they live with their family, or they be in college or schools or something, that they do not have that kind of income that they can pay every now and then, right? There will be a lot of people like, but then again, we are not looking for a 2% of high income. We're looking for like a 98% of the high income or 95% of the high income, probably like not very like a millionaire, but like in a standard, like an average national income. If you can find those kind of location, look for their age as well. The age I would suggest you would be between 25 to 45. If you have good populations of this age group between 25 to 45, that probably is a very good location, because these people are a hard worker most of the time, and then also they have sufficient money because they're busy, right? So you got the points. But I would say if you would like to know more about this, please do please do enroll for the course. And it's not gonna be a very expensive course, but I would say it's a very good investment before you start your business, because you need a roadmap, like you need like a GPS system that point to point, it tells you where the traffic's, where is the shortcut way to take the road and all those things. So this guideline that I have created, Virtual Kitchen Resource, is a program that will help you out, because I've been in this business for quite some time and I can help you out a lot. And it's not about a theory, it's not from the book, not from a reference, but I have been there. I did, and that's what I want to actually share with you, to cut ways of your to cut your time in doing more productivity and efficient work, right? So okay, now let's go to the next one, how to decide on pricing. Again, here, these are very good questions. Most restaurants, they may have a very good hobby, like some chef I have seen it, they have been in the food industry for quite a long time, but most of them does not have this thing called menu engineering, so which is pricing your product. So which I have also shared, I have got this concept as well. This pricing your product will be on a free training course as well, but I have included in my training program. So what you have to decide on pricing is, it depends. The first thing is that you have to know the cost of your inventory, and then the labor and all those things that requires you to put the money to get to the final product, right? So let's say everything costs, let's say you want to price one product. So let's say you have purchased that product for $1. Now you want to include another dollar for the labor cost, the utility cost, the tax that you're going to pay, and all those processing fees, commissions, everything on $1. And now you have all the costs involved to get to the final product for that particular items. Now you might want to research on what your competitor nearby. You don't have to worry about like which is above like a 10 miles or 20 miles, but within the 3-5 miles you want to see, is there any other restaurant or a food business selling the similar product, right? Look at their price, right? Let's say if they are putting the price for that $2 cost of final product cost of your product, if they are selling that for $5, probably you might would just want to cut down to like a 4.5 or say $4.50. That probably may help you to attract kind of like a marketing materials at the same time you are selling your product. But you don't want to have like a huge margin on that product, because what happened is that you might just be competing with another similar product. So you want to understand, first thing is what is the total cost that is involved for the final product, and also understand what is the price in the market of your product. In between, you see there is a difference between the final product and the market price. In between, there is a percentage that that is your profit margin. So you can work around on your profit margin according to how comfortable you are to put your pricing on your product. So there's a lot of things that involve it, but for more deep information, I will be sharing the training program. So I would suggest you to please, for more updates, join our group, which is Virtual Kitchen Research, in a Facebook group. It's a free, so you can just join the group, and I will share you every update now and then. Whenever the training is launched, you will be able to go through for free. All right. Okay, the last one here I have is procedures to connect a third-party delivery service, and also it's again very simple. This one is because you just want to pick which delivery partners that you want to work with. So just go to their website and they will give you the step-by-step instructions on how to fulfill all the applications required and what are the documents that you would required, and create your menu and all those stuff. So this is kind of very self-help. You will just go, you'll get to know it once you visit their website, because every company have their own way of doing things. So I probably may not be the right person to give you the exact one. What happened with Uber, Postmate, Swiggy or Zomato, they have their own terms. I haven't gone through their terms, but I know a little bit about Grubhub, Postmates, DoorDash, Uber, and so Uber and Postmates, I think they are the same company. So that's what I know about it, but I will not be able to give you more information. But I would say here is the right information would be, instead of me telling you, just go to their website and see partners requirement to with the company, you know. So there you will have more information and do the right thing, the right step, and save your time. All right guys, with these informations, I hope that it is helpful for you. But like I said, if you would like to know more about this, please do share with your friends and all. Let's build up the group for virtual kitchen resource and help everybody who would like to participate or who would like to do some new take a new journey on this food industry. It's very interesting actually, and many people likes it, but it's just that sometimes we really do not know where to start it and what is the vision that I have for that kind of a business model, right? But if you stay with me in these videos and subscribe to my channel on YouTube, same HEIR, right? It's very simple. And also subscribe, join the group on Facebook. I'll make sure that you have a very great content, which is not just information, like it's a transition. As I said all the time, I'm here to make sure that you grow in your business, not just to stay in the business, but monetize it, maximize it, and mobilize it, right? And for that reason, I want to provide as much as information and provide you the resource for your growth. All right then guys, with that, I'll see you in the next video. You guys have a wonderful day.